Okay, good morning. I will start the session. Actually, in the yesterday session, we discussed what is the importance of Python. The only thing is what are the different applications where we are using Python, along with the contents. That is, what are the syllabus we are going to cover. That is not a problem. So, by moving on, we just generally we know the syllabus. From this onwards, we will begin with the basic topics. Okay, very basics. First 2 to 3 sessions and then move on the complete concepts of Python programming. And for the first week, that is for 2 to 3 days, approximately by the end of this week, up to 7:20 only, up to 7:20. From the next Monday onwards, we have the classes from 6:30 to 7:30. So complete 1 hour timings. Now, so this is also an introduction class. And in this class, we mainly discuss the fundamentals. Actually, some of the topics are already covered in the yesterday session. No problem. Move on again. Fundamentals. So, Python. Coming to Python programming, Python is a high-level programming language. What is the meaning of high level? Remember the thing. We have three levels of programming: mission level, assembly level, and high level. So mission level in the sense the language that is understandable by the mission. What do you mean by mission? Mission is called computer. So the language that is understandable by the computer is called mission level language. Mission level language only use zeros and ones. For example, if you want to perform addition between two numbers, a plus b, now here all the things, everything, suppose a value is 2, b value is 3. A value is 2, b value is 3. 2 plus 3. Now how it is performed? 2 is converted into binary, 3 is converted into binary, and remember the thing, the plus is also converted into binary. Each and everything is converted into binary. Then is it possible to remember for all the binary conversions for a normal user? For example, assume the binary representation for plus is 101. Suppose binary representation 1101 like this. We have many number of operations. It is not possible to remember all the binary things for a human being. That is the reason we are not supposed to use this language, that is a mission language. Actually, to overcome this one, we are moving into assembly language. So in assembly language also, we are using mnemonics. Mnemonics in the sense, for example, if you want to perform addition between A and B, you are using a mnemonic, that is a keyword like this: add A comma B. So by seeing this instruction, add, okay, we have to perform addition between the two numbers AB. That is the thing. Okay. But here also we have a problem. The problem is many number of instructions. They are called generally mnemonics. We have many number of mnemonics. It is very difficult to remember all the mnemonics. And one more problem is, again, the mission understands only zeros and ones. Even though you are writing mnemonics, you have to convert into zeros and ones. So remembering is one difficult task. Again, conversion is another waste procedure. To overcome all these problems, for easy understanding, for easily writing of a program, everyone uses the concept of high level. High level in the sense our natural language, that is English. So we are writing our program in English language. So if it is English language, user can easily understand, okay, this happened at this point of time. Now, general purpose. What is mean by this general purpose? General purpose in the sense this Python programming is used in our own language and can be used at any point of time for any purpose. That is, by using this Python, we can develop any task. Now, Python is developed by the scientist Rassam in the year 1989 at this institute, National Research Institute Laboratory. But so even though it is developed in the year 1989, it comes into existence in the year 1991, right? So it is the developed year, but It comes into existence in the year 1991. So this is the official date of birth. And everyone say Python is recommended the first programming language for the beginner, but generally C is the basic language. Remember the thing, Python is a very easy language. Everything is predefined. What is mean by predefined? It is already defined. You have to know how to use. The only thing you have to know is what are available and how to use. That is the only thing you remember. No need to do any task. No need to implement any task, right? But if you learn C language, somewhat difficult, all the concepts, all the basic things, advanced things, each and every step is implemented in C language. Remember, once you know C language, it is very easy to learn all the languages. But even though it is okay, without knowing C also, we can write the Python. And why most of the programmers right now prefer Python? Everything is predefined. One important one and silly logic is, for example, the same thing, everything is predefined. What is predefined? That is already defined. For example, we have a function count. The same example what we discussed, we have a function count. Count is the function which is used to count how many number of times a particular character is repeated. For example, I am given a string. String in the sense a word. For example, my word is hello. My word is hello. So count is the function which is used to count how many number of times the word L is repeated. The answer is 2. So this is already defined. Simply you can use like count of will automatically it returns answer. So the most important point is this function is already defined. The fact is this is defined and this function is developed in C language. So 70 to 80% of Python programming is developed in C language. Okay, that is already developed C language. Simply we call the function and use the function. Whatever the language they are using, that is the implementation language is not at all required. What we required only the functionalities, how to call and what it produce. The implementation details are not at all required for the user. Implementation details not required for the user. So this is the basic introduction to Python programming. Now, actually, this is the thing we already discussed in the yesterday session. So no problem. Most of the students are joined in this session. Again, I will repeat the thing. For example, my program is a simple program. Print a message, hello world on the screen. Hello world is to be printed on the screen. How we are printing hello world in different programming languages. For example, the basic one, first one, C language. First of all, you have to include the header file. So header file contains the predefined functions. Now compulsory, the first executable statement in any C language program is main. Main is the first executable program statement. So main is executed. Under main, by using the printf statement, we are printing the message. This is the way to print a message in C program. Now coming to Java. I think you know that one. Java is a complete object-oriented programming. Object-oriented programming in the sense everything is treated as an object and all the members are written inside the class only. All the members are written inside the class only. Remember that is. Okay, so first we have to create a class sample, and this is the syntax of the main. Now it is not time for to discuss the syntax of the main. By using this system.out.println, I am printing the message. So to print a simple message, this much of code is required. But coming to Python, simply one single statement, print hello world, the message is displayed. Now you got the difference. For a single message also we are reducing the number of lines. That is the advantage. That is The main advantage by using Python, we are reducing the number of lines of code. Now, so the thing is, the Python is developed. For example, the common thing, not only for programming languages. Suppose we are implementing a project, we are developed a project. So what we are doing at the time of project development, we are, for example, we are designing a car. We are designing a car. Actually, at the time of car designing, we are using the features of different company cars, right? Different company cars. For example, car company X has these features. So these are the best features in company X. These are the best features in company Y, and so on. Then what we are doing? All the best features from the different companies are extracted, and then I am designed a new car. Exactly why Python becomes the most popular language. Why? Why in the sense Python taking almost all programming features from different languages. Suppose the main advantage of C is called procedural oriented language. Simply C is called procedure oriented programming. What is the procedure oriented? Instead of writing the entire program at one place, we are dividing the program into different procedures, also called as functions. Also called as functions. So by writing the functions, the same code is no need to repeat the same code multiple number of times. Write the code only once, and whenever you require, simply call the function. So that is the main advantage of C language. So that functional programming features are extracted from C. Now that is, now the Python contains this one. Now C++, that is either C++ or Java, both are object oriented programming. The object oriented features, that is class, inheritance, encapsulation, polymorphism, abstraction, all these are object oriented principles. So all these object oriented principles are also extracted, and we have some scripting languages for writing a code. Suppose we are developing a website. We are developing a website. At the time of developing a website, we need some scripting languages. So all the scripting features are extracted. And modular programming. This is a language. I think everyone no one don't know about this modular 3. This is a programming language, mainly depends on modular programming. Only thing is modular means again it is almost similar to functions. In functions, we are writing a function and then we call. Modular in the sense everything is divided into different modules. Everything is divided into different number of modules. Divide the program into module 1, module 2, and then link all the modules. I think you got it. Instead of writing the complete project by only one person, my project, for example, if you want to perform arithmetic operations, one module is addition, another module is subtraction, another module is division, like that. So now observe the thing. Based on this, the best features from each language is extracted. The best features from each languages are extracted. That is the reason Python becomes the most popular language. Most popular language. Now, this is the most important slide. Once you know the slide, then you definitely learn the Python programming. You definitely learn the Python programming. Remember, these are the applications where we are using Python. In not all the applications, it is not possible to use C. It is not possible to use Java. It is not possible to use C++. So if you are using C, only some applications are possible. If you are using Java, only some applications are possible, like this. Now, in the simple sense, in each and everywhere we are using Python. The simple sense, each and everywhere. Whenever we required a programming language, at that place we will use Python. First one, for developing desktop applications. What do you mean by desktop applications? Desktop in the sense is system. So simply application that is inbuilt in the system. Generally, for this I will explain one thing. For example, coming to software, I think everyone know the software. Simply set of instructions under execution, and that is we are providing some input and it has to produce some output. If that is called software. Generally, the software is categorized into two types. One is application software. Second one is system software. The software is of two types, application software and system software. What is mean by application software? That is, we are designing a software for some specific purpose. For some specific purpose. For example, IRCTC. IRCTC is the software that is used only for ticket booking. For example, PayPal. PayPal is the software which is used only for bank transactions like this. For example, the software that are designed only for some specific purpose. So, next one, system software. The software that is used to run the system. That is, if you are not having any system software, the system is not executed, that is not running. So the common example of system software is an operating system. I think everyone know. Without operating system, it is not possible to even to on the system, to turn on the system. We require operating system. Okay. So generally, remember the thing. The operating systems are implemented, developed by using C language. In 70% of operating systems are designed by using C language. Why? Because the operating systems are already designed. Operating systems are already designed by using C. Okay. Now, now coming to desktop applications, that means this is the application software. So day by day, we are increasing the different number of applications. For all these applications, we are using Python. And for developing web applications in the sense creating websites, we are creating websites by using Python. For example, normal everyone know, by using HTML we are creating the website, by using CSS, HTML, JavaScript and so on, and by using PHP we are creating the websites. In the same sense, by using Python, so Python contains Django framework. Python has an additional framework called Django. By using Django framework, we are creating the website. So Python is used for this one. For developing database applications. So database application in the sense any software or any application that need to interact with database. For example, consider a university application. What are the thing university application? The university has a database. It has to store all the details of faculty, all the details of students, and the marks of in each and every semester, and the roll number, each and every information. Whenever you require a database, and if you want to store the information, if you want to perform any modifications, or if you want to extract the information, whatever, why not? So what not, each and everything that is related to database, we are using Python. So this is the network programming, the thing network programming in a sense. So multiple, that is simply related to computer networks. So multiple number of networks and the nodes are present in each network. The nodes are connected. That is traversing. That means in the networking we have different routing algorithm, shortest path routing like this. Each and every network programming is also implemented by using Python. So the thing games. Right now we are actually generally most of the games are developed by using Java. I think in the previous days whenever we are opening a game, so the first it displays Java and then the game is opened. So right now it is converted. Right now it is converted, and nowadays most of the games are developed by using Java, Python. Why not Java? Remember, whatever the features, most of the features are in Java also, but it is somewhat difficult to use in Java. Somewhat difficult to use in Java. Okay, now the most all these are the things, the basic things. These are the main important things. The main important things, because of these only Python becomes the most Python becomes the most popular language. So one is data analytics. So data analytics in the sense analysis of data. So for analyzing the data, we are using Python. For machine learning projects. For machine learning, artificial intelligence, deep learning, IoT, Internet of Things, for each and every real-time application, we are using Python. Because of this, we are using. So this machine learning. So in the contents, we have the machine learning. I think yesterday you see the contents. So again, I'm repeating. What are the contents? All the things related to Python. Whatever the things related to Python, all the things are discussed. And then we will discuss some advancements of Python. That is, NumPy is the module which is used for data science also. NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, and scikit-learn. After learning all these modules that are related to data science, and then we will discuss the classification and regression different algorithms of machine learning. That is, we will discuss the machine learning also by the end of this session. That is, in the machine learning, how do we implement the Python? That is, how do we use the Python programming language? Now, so these are the futures of Python. Actually, no need to discuss these futures. Once we go on with the sessions, it is very easy, but I will explain simple thing. So simple and easy to learn. So what is this statement is very simple. Compared to all the languages, Python is a very easy language. Why? It has a very limited number of syntaxes and limited number of programs, and it is very simple. Freeware and open source. That means it is available freely in the internet. So anyone can download with the free of cost. Anyone can download with the free of cost. We already discussed high level programming language and platform independent. I think you know the meaning of platform independent. Platform independent in the sense, for example, coming to C language. So you are writing a C program in the system. We are writing a C program in the system. Actually, the general scenario is, for example, my program is add.c. Any C program is saved with .c. After compilation, it produces in between we have add.obj file, and finally at the time of execution we have add.exe file. If you are executing the program and if you are copy this add.exe in another system, if you try to execute, mostly there is a chance of errors. That is, if you are writing a program in one platform in the sense the software, if you are writing a program in one platform, for example in Windows operating system, if you try to execute in Mac operating system, there is a chance of errors. But coming to Java and Python, it is possible. So in Java, for example, my program is saved with add.java. After execution, first it develop a bytecode add.class. So this add.class is placed in any platform, in any system, it produces the code. Similarly, Python also, you are saving it .py, and once executed, the code is you can copy in any system, not a problem. So that is the platform independent. Portability in the sense we can move from one system to another system with very easy in the sense, but not by using pen drive, not by using mail. So in the sense, with even though we are moving from one system to another system, there is no need to perform the modifications. So that is the basic things. So among all this, the most important advantage of Python is this one: dynamically typed. This is the most important point. What is mean by typed? What is mean by dynamically? Once we have a word dynamically, in the sense automatically we have a word static type, right? For example, except Python, in remaining languages, suppose if you want to perform addition of two numbers, okay, I will move to the new screen. So what is my program? My program is addition of two numbers. Now, how do you write the program? For example, I am writing in C language int main Suppose int a comma, suppose assume a is equal to 3, b is equal to 4, c is equal to a plus b. Printf percentage d comma c. So even though you don't know C language, no problem. What is the thing here is, before using the variables here, before performing the operation, the first step is we have to declare. In any language except Python, in any language, before using the variable, first you have to declare the variable. After declaration only it is allowed to use. That is in the simple sense. For example, if you are going to two tasks, if you are going to do one task, before going to the task, then what you are doing, you are intimating the thing with your supervisor, intimating the thing with the supervisor. At the same sense, before usage of any variable, first of all you have to declare the variable. Okay, then the computer understand, okay, we are declaring two variables a and b. These are the variables we are going to use in the program, and this is called data type. Data type in the sense the type of data that is stored in a variable. Assume here the data type is integer, so integer in the sense whole number. So a and b are the two variables that are going to use in the program, and a and b can hold only integer values. This is the meaning of this statement. But in Python, no need to write this declaration. Simply you can write a is equal to 3, b is equal to 4, c is equal to a plus b. Simply, if you are performing initialization, no data type. For example, in this one, if you are writing 4.3, it gives an error. Why? It is an integer, but we are assigning a real number. But in Python, it is allowed. Why? In Python, there is no concept of data type. Whatever the value we are passing, the variable is automatically converted. For example, in this example, we are passing a whole number. A is an integer. Here we are passing a real number. Automatically, B is a floating number. For example, S is equal to hello. S becomes a string. No need to declare. The only thing is, whenever you require, simply use. Whenever you require, simply use. That is dynamically. This is the main advantage of Python. Based on this advantage, we can use the variable with a different value. Suppose one time I store the same variable with an integer value. Later I will modify it to string. It is possible, but in other languages it is not possible. You have to declare a separate variable for each and every data type. No problem. We will discuss all these things in the next sessions. Now, both procedure oriented and object oriented. How can you say that? In the previous slide, we discussed Python extract the features from C language. So C is a procedure oriented. That means the functional programming end Python extract the features from C++ and Java, that is object oriented. So we will discuss in our curriculum, that is in our syllabus. First we will move to the all the Python programmings related to procedure oriented. Later we will move to the object oriented. That is, we will discuss the complete procedure oriented concepts of Python programming and then object oriented concepts of Python programming. We will cover both the things. Now, first I will explain extensible. Extensible in the sense we can extend. Extensible in the sense we can extend the Python programming. That means we already defined a program with some features. If you want to add more functionality to the already defined one, simply we can add the functionality. If you want to add, you can add the functionality. Now, this is the one more important thing. Interpreted. What is mean by this one? So in the previous we discussed Python is high level programming language. So high level programming language is understandable by the computer, that is sorry, understandable by the user only, right? Then how a computer understands high level programming language? Then we need a translator, right? We need A translator. What is the purpose of translator? The translator converts high-level programming language into mission language. This is one translator for converting this high-level language into mission level language. We have two types of translators. One is compiler, second one is interpreter. We have to know the difference. One translator is compiler, another translator is interpreter. So what is mean by compiler? The task of both these things is converting high level language into mission level language, but the way they are doing is different. For example, this is my program. Assume this is my program. The compiler at a time, the entire program is converted into mission level language. For example, if there is an error at this line, it shows the error. There is error at this line, it shows the error. Even though it has an error, it will convert. Even though it has an error, it has to convert it into binary without modifying the error. You got my point? So compiler at a time convert into binary language even though there is an error. But coming to interpreter, instead of converting the entire program at a time, it converts line by line. First it converts this line 1, second line 2, third line 3. For example, we have these many lines. Next it converts line 3. Suppose, assume if there is an error in line 3. If there is an error in line 3, it does not perform conversion. Simply it stops the conversion and shows the error to the user, and you have to modify the error. After that only we are moving it to 4, 5, 6 and so on. So interpreter, the conversion is line by line. So whenever there is an error, simply it stops the conversion and shows the error. But compiler, it will, even though there is an error, it will, the entire program is converted. Entire program is converted. So here C is the compiled language. Java and Python are the interpreted languages. Java and Python are the interpreted languages, right? These are the features of Python programming. Okay, now we are moving into the syllabus. So actually no problem. I will start the things. Identifier, the basic thing and at the same time the most important thing. Not only Python programming language, any language, the identifier plays a crucial role. So simply a name in Python programming is called identifier. Simply identifier gives a name. Identifier gives a name. Suppose where we are using name, for example, if you are using a variable, we have to give some name a comma b comma c or total sum, whatever it is. Identifier is a name, and identifier, the name is either a variable or a constant or a function, object to class, whatnot. Whenever we are using a name, that name is defined by identifier. So we have to use some of the rules for defining an identifier, that is to give a name to the identifier. You have to follow some rules. What is the meaning of this one? Simply, for example, you and me, we are available. Our parents give the name to us. How they are giving the name to us? Based on some rules. What are the rules? Based on the date of birth, that is the time. For example, assume the time, or assume the star, assume the whatever it is, either star or time. We have different factors. The name starts with some K, the name starts with some A, like this. So they are using some rules based on the star and date of birth for name to the users, that is a name to us. In a similar sense, to name to either a variable or classes, whatnot, any variable, any Python name, we have to follow the rules. So these are the only allowed things. For any name, we have to use either alphabets, that is A to Z, either lowercase or capital A to Z. The letters A to Z are allowed in a name, and the digits 0 to 9 are allowed. The digits 0 to 9. Not only 0 to 9, any combination of the 0 to 9 are allowed. And this is the important thing. The only special symbol underscore is allowed. For any name, we have possibility of three things, either alphabets or digits or only the special symbol underscore. So again, we have restrictions. Even though these three are allowed, an identifier in the sense, simply remember identifier in the sense a name, an identifier does not begin with a digit. Identifier does not starts with a digit. Digit in the sense, for example, a is equal to a is not an initializations a. This is valid. A comma b. Here we have two variables a and b total. So this is a single variable. Remember. So if you are using comma, then only those are multiple variables a comma b. So comma is used to separate the variable. This is one variable. Here we have two variables. Here total is a variable. Variable name is not only a single letter. You can use any letters. For example, total h. This is also a single variable. This is also a single variable. So we can use the letters and then, for example, total 7. This is a single variable. Total 7. Now is these two variables are same or different? Remember, these two variables are different. Python is case sensitive. Not only Python, almost all the languages are case sensitive. Case sensitive in the sense uppercase letters are different from lowercase letters. Here we are using capital T. Here we are using small t. Both are different. Now 1AB, it is invalid. Why? This is an identifier that begins with a digit. So begin with a digit is not allowed. Begin with a digit is not allowed. Suppose a underscore b, it is allowed. AB 78, it is allowed. AB underscore 59, this is allowed. Digit in the sense not only 0 to 9, you can use any combination of the digits, any combination of the letters, and the only special symbol is underscore. But the only important thing is does not starts with a digit. Does not starts with a digit. It has to starts with either alphabets or underscore is also possible. Underscore a, this is a variable. Underscore a, this is also a variable. Only thing is does not starts with a digit. Now reserved words are not used as identifiers. Reserved words are not used as identifier. What do you mean by reserved words? At the time of program, that is at the time of language development, some words are reserved for some fixed meaning. Some words are reserved for some fixed meaning. Those are not allowed to use as the identifiers. For example, your initial, your surname, that is fixed. Actually your surname and your actual name both are not same. That means your surname is fixed generally. Even though you are using, that is your wish, your surname is fixed and it is not possible to use as your name. In the same sense, at the time of Python programming, not only Python, in any language, some words are reserved. For example, if it is used to check the condition like this. Now, one more advantage of Python is there is no length limit for Python identifier. What is the meaning of this one? Identifier in the sense, for example, consider a variable. Variable in the sense we have to give a name. What is the maximum length of a variable? In all the languages, the length of a variable is fixed. For example, in C language, a 32-bit architecture, that is depending upon the architecture again changed. For example, even though changed, that is fixed. The variable length is only 8 characters. Suppose AB underscore 59. This is allowed. Why? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 characters. That means it can allowed maximum of 8 characters or 16 characters depending upon the computer. Computer in the sense depending upon if you are using 32-bit machine or 64-bit machine. Whatever it is not the concept of C language. In all the languages, the length of identifier is fixed. But in Python, there is no limit on the length of identifier. You can use a variable of size, any size, a variable of length, any size. But even though they are allowed, you have to not use. Why? If you are using a variable of length to some 50 characters, whenever a variable required, you have to use again the 50 characters. So instead of writing the thing, choose a variable that suits the program. For example, if my program is to perform sum, use the variable like sum, total, like the variable total, like this. Okay, this is identifier. This is identifier. Now I will discuss this one and I will close the session. The thing is keyword. So keywords in the sense some of the reserved words to represent some meaning. So each and every word has some meaning. So we have total 33 keywords available in Python. And remember all the keywords in alphabets, no digits, no underscore, all the keywords in alphabets. Generally, except three keywords, all the keywords in lowercase letters. All the three keywords in lowercase letters. What are the three? True, false, none. These are begin with uppercase letters. Now, no need to remember these keywords. Once we are moving with the Python programming, we discussed. For example, if loops, while, for, yield, generator, iterators, we have many number of keywords, we have many number. Once we move on with the Python programming, we no need to remember, everything comes to this one. Now these are the basic things related to Python. Now if you have any doubt, please ask the doubt. We have 5 more minutes. If you have any doubt, please ask the doubt. So in the tomorrow session, I will discuss how to install. Mostly, how to, for example, these are the data types, what are the different basic things, and how to install the particular Python software also. Meanwhile, if you have any doubt, please ask me. Or otherwise, ping the message in the chat box. Ping the message in chat box also, not a problem. Is it okay or not? Whatever it is. If it is not okay, give no. If it is okay, give yes. Whatever it is. Okay, it was clear. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, okay, then it's fine. I'm also very happy. Thank you very much. Meet you in the next session. Can I close the session?